Hey, this is a tutorial on the particle generator in Final Cut Motion, and this is a pretty cool part of Motion, and it's actually pretty basic, but it's very important. So, first let's open up a Motion project. Wait for this to open. And let's get to our particle emitters. You go into Library, Particle Emitters, and then you have all these particle emitters. The first thing I'm going to show you is you have this little search bar. I'm going to type in goo. And there's this little goo effect. Now I'm going to just drag this into here. I'm going to hit Command 4 and Command 7 to get my layers and timeline. And now I'm going to use this as an example of how much you can change in a particle emitter and how flexible they are. So first thing I'm going to do is there are two ways you can edit a particle. You can go into the Inspector tab and you get all of these different possibilities to change. Or you can just click HUD and you get just birth rate and other things. Sometimes the HUD is the best thing to do, especially when you're changing the emission range, because it gives you this nice little visual, and you can see that it's changing over here as well because they're the same thing. But sometimes the HUD's easier for quick effects, but sometimes you want to go into Inspector and go into Emitters. So Inspector and Emitter, and you can change what color it is. So you can go into here and Atlantic blue. You can only really do the presets. It's suggested you can edit them on your own, and like you can change the exact color. See, you can just go in and change the color here and edit the general color. Like I could choose Atlantic blue but change it to a pink instead of a blue, so it would go, let's click here, change it to a pink, and now it's pink to blue, and you can change things like that. But I think you should just stick with I usually just stick with this stuff, the pre-made gradients, because they're usually a lot better. So see, you turned one effect into a completely different effect. You turned a piece of goo into this cool sort of flashy effect. So the next thing is the emitter tab. The biggest thing is that you have a lot of different things to change. I don't even know all of them. So you can change the radius of everything. I'm not even sure exactly what that does. The columns, the amount of columns. Just Command Z twice. The tile offset, angle at which it rotates, can make it 3D. And then you can go into effects, and I don't know, maybe you don't usually use 3D stuff, so this isn't going to really make any sense. 3D particles, so you can turn 3D on, and suddenly you can change the 3D in Z space and add a camera and suddenly change everything in Z space. But there's a lot of things you can do with particle emitters. I'm going to do the same thing, only just if you think you get the idea, you can stop now and just stop watching now. But if you're only going to use the presets, just stop now. But I'm going to just go over with this same thing with another particle emitter, and this time I'm going to use a campfire and just go over it again just to make sure that you get it. So generally you can change the scale right here, but I generally suggest going into the HUD and changing the scale here, and you also have to change the life as well, and And I mean, generally, it's, yeah, so, I mean, changing the scale here isn't the same as changing the scale somewhere else. And now I've turned a campfire into some weird 3D thing that hopefully doesn't work. Again, switch everything to 3D, and then you can just rotate around, and everything's 3D. And it's really cool, all of the things that you can do with the particle emitters. Now, the last thing that you really need to know about particle emitters is you need to know how to make your own. I really don't usually do this, and if I have time, and by time I mean there's a 10-minute limit on videos on YouTube, so if I have time and if I am able to fit in this, I'm going to show you how to do this with a picture. It's exactly the same, but it just might be different for you. Like, you could make a particle of candy corn, or different types of candy, or all of these things, and like make a Halloween one, and do all these things. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to turn up the mask feather, and you know what? Why not? I'm just going to go into the library and go into gradients and pick icy blue. Have a thing for the icy blue one. Maybe go into the specter, change the icy blue to red or blue, more icy blue. Just change it however I want. And now I have this little dot. Really not exciting at all in any ways. So I'm going to select the group.
LHE is no longer available.
Okay, so you probably just heard something in the background. Just ignore that. That was just an iChat thing. Just ignore it. So now I'm going to hit make particle, and now it's a particle, and you can edit it like a particle. You just have to make sure you can't hit group 1 and suddenly be able to control the particle. You have to hit the emitter, and then when you go into HUD, you'll be able to control everything. So I can change the birth rate down, change the scale down. Pretty cool. And I mean, really, that's it. I have 2 minutes left, and so if this tutorial gets cut off and I'm in mid-sentence and suddenly I get cut off, that's because I ran out of time. And candy corn, I don't know, why not just bring, I don't know, why not, shoe. I have no idea what this is. Oh, that's why. Bring this into motion, drag it to my desktop and bring it into motion. Then I could go into add filter, keying, Luma key, and key out brighter thresholds. Make sure that all that works. Make particle, and now you have a shoe particle. No idea how that would be useful, but I don't know what I just did. I'm just going to hit Command Z because apparently I did something and now Script isn't working. Just hit make particle again. Just go into add filter, keying, Luma key. So you get the idea. I have to end it now because I have 9 minutes and 42 seconds and I want to leave it. So I hope you get the idea. Leave comments on suggestions for me to do in future tutorials. And okay, that's it.